You think you're just being thorough, running through every single what-if before you make a move. You call it being responsible. But what if that constant mental gymnastics is actually a silent saboteur? What if, instead of preparing you, it's physically rewiring your brain for anxiety and quietly wrecking your health? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden dangers of overthinking and showing you how to get your peace of mind back. So, does this sound like you? You fire off a text message and then spend the next hour absolutely dissecting the reply. Or maybe you're lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying a conversation from last week, picking apart every word, every pause, wondering what you should have said. That isn't just thinking. That's rumination. It's the mental version of a hamster on a wheel loop of repetitive, dead-end thoughts that goes absolutely nowhere. Overthinking, really, is a pattern of getting stuck on negative thoughts, usually about the past or the future. It feels like being trapped in a movie theater in your own mind, forced to watch reruns of your biggest worries, mistakes, and fears. You might find yourself fixating on things you have zero control over, or endlessly second-guessing a decision you already made. The trickiest part about overthinking is that it often disguises itself as problem-solving. You convince yourself that if you just look at the problem from one more angle, you'll find the perfect answer or avoid a future screw-up. But that almost never happens. Instead, you get stuck in what psychologists call analysis paralysis. The sheer number of choices and worst-case scenarios becomes so overwhelming that you just can't decide. You're frozen by the very process you thought would give you clarity. This cycle is mentally draining. It saps your energy, fogs your judgment, and robs you of your present. You find it hard to relax, impossible to focus, and you might even notice you're becoming more irritable or pulling away from people. Well, everyone gets caught in a thought loop now and then. For many, it's become a chronic state of being. And that's where the real danger kicks in. Because this habit isn't just in your head. It has real, damaging effects on your brain and your body. Now, here's what's really happening in your brain when you're stuck in that loop. It's not just a bad habit. It's a biological process that is physically changing your brain. This is thanks to something called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on your experiences and, more importantly, your thoughts. When you're constantly overthinking, you're strengthening the neural pathways for worry and fear. Picture it like carving a path in a forest. The more you walk down that path, the wider and easier it gets, until it becomes your brain's go-to route. You are literally training your brain to be on high alert. Specifically, this habit messes with key areas of your brain. It can cause the amygdala, your brain's threat detection center, to become overactive. A hyperactive amygdala means your brain is constantly scanning for danger, putting your anxiety response on a hair trigger. At the same time, this can weaken your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles rational thought and emotional control. This creates a nasty feedback loop. Your brain's alarm system is cranked to 11, while the part that can calm you down gets weaker. This mental stress doesn't just stay in your head. It sets off a chain reaction of physical responses. That endless loop of worry tells your body you're under constant threat, keeping your fight-or-flight mode permanently switched on. This floods your system with the stress hormone cortisol. And while a little cortisol is fine, chronically high levels can completely sabotage your health. This nonstop stress response can show up as a ton of physical symptoms. You might get chronic muscle tension, frequent headaches, or that nagging pain in your neck and back. It can mess with your digestive system, leading to things like stomach pain or even irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. Your immune system takes a hit, making you more likely to get sick. And maybe the most serious part, the long-term strain from an elevated heart rate and blood pressure increases your risk for hypertension, heart attack, and stroke. The mental exhaustion from overthinking eventually becomes a deep physical exhaustion. That messes with your sleep, your energy, and your life. If this is hitting home for you and you're ready to turn these insights into real change, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is for anyone dedicated to understanding their mind and using that knowledge to build a better life. Okay, now that we know the trap, let's talk about how to get out. It's important to remember that overthinking is a mental habit. And just like any other habit, you can break it. You can retrain your brain. This isn't about some magic cure, but about having the right tools to take back control. Here are 4 powerful techniques you can start using today. Strategy 1, schedule a worry window. This sounds weird, I know, but trying to just force worries away can actually make them stronger. So instead, you're going to take control by scheduling a time to worry. Pick a 15-minute slot each day. This is your worry window. During this time, you have full permission to overthink, stress out, and write down every single thing that's on your mind. But when the timer goes off, you stop. If a worry pops up later, just tell yourself, nope, I'll think about that during my scheduled time. This technique contains the anxiety instead of letting it run your whole day. Strategy 2, see your thoughts as thoughts, not facts. A key idea from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is learning to separate yourself from your thoughts. This is called cognitive diffusion. When you notice yourself spiraling, instead of thinking, I'm going to fail, rephrase it as, I'm having the thought that I'm going to fail. That tiny shift in language creates some much-needed distance. It's a reminder that you are the observer of your thoughts, not the victim of them. Thoughts are just temporary mental events. You don't have to believe them. Strategy 3, take imperfect action. Analysis paralysis is fueled by the fear of making the wrong move. The best way to kill it is with any action. Instead of getting stuck trying to find the one perfect path, just focus on taking one small, imperfect step. Overwhelmed by a huge project? What's one tiny thing you can do right now? Stuck on a decision? What's a small, reversible choice you can make just to get the ball rolling? Action shatters the rumination loop. It builds momentum and proves to your brain that you can handle the outcome, which in turn builds real confidence. Strategy 4, reconnect with your senses. Overthinking yanks you out of the real world and traps you in your head. A simple but super effective way to escape is to ground yourself using your senses. The moment you feel your mind start to race, just pause. Ask yourself, what are 5 things I can see? 4 things I can physically feel? 3 things I can hear? 2 things I can smell? And 1 thing I can taste? This 5 for 3 to 1 exercise forces your attention out of the abstract chaos in your mind and back to the real, physical present, which naturally calms your nervous system. Overthinking isn't some deep character flaw. It's a protective instinct that's just gone into overdrive. It's a mental habit that feels like it's keeping you safe, but is actually rewiring your brain for anxiety and hurting your health. But you are not broken. You are not your thoughts. You've just developed a pattern that isn't working for you anymore. By spotting this silent saboteur, understanding how it works, and using simple strategies to fight back, you can break the cycle. Every time you choose to interrupt a worry spiral, you're weakening those old, worn-out neural pathways and building new ones. You are actively reshaping your brain not for more anxiety, but for clarity, calm, and control. If this video was helpful, give it a like to help other people find it. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thought you're ready to stop listening to? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into how your mind works. Thanks for watching.